What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is match reaction time. Have a feeling we're going to be here for a good time, but not a very long time tonight. Listen, that game was uneventful to say the least. But look, we're through. We're through to the fourth round. I see Exeter have gone through, so hopefully we get them so we can put out this kind of team again and carry on. But yeah, it wasn't very inspiring today, was it, to say the least? Ash in the house saying, hey, KG, great to see you. Great to see you too, Ash, and big up to everyone. Of course, Parrot House, you're always supporting. Love you, man. Love you. Thank you for the super sticker. Much appreciated for the support. And listen, big up to all existing members like Parrot House for that kind of support. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Yeah, and Ryan Darlow has done more than enough. Listen, he had me when he saved it at the near post. He grabbed my heart then. That's how low the bar is. He got he saved a shot at the near post that every other keeper usually makes. He did it today. I went, that's my number one right there. That's my number one. Crazy. Yeah, Mikey, that was horrific. I can't believe how bad that game was. And listen, you know what? Before I go any further, fair play to Harrogate Town. Look, they did come in, sit 10 deep. We know what was going to happen. But I felt up until the goal, they were quite comfortable, which is that's damning on us, by the way, that they were that comfortable. It was just prime Farker ball, wasn't it? It was just prime out to the side, trying to cut inside, hardly any byline crosses. You know what you're going to get. We've seen it for 2 years, so you know no point complaining about the style of play. We know what we're getting. Lodi saying Dubai should have got minutes. That's probably the main talking point today, in terms of the game, because pretty much everyone played. Did anyone play over an 8 out of 10? I don't do match ratings, by the way, but I'm just saying, did anyone really play over a 10? I think it's quite telling. I know it doesn't mean much, but the commentator give the man of the match to one of their players. So I think that kind of tells you a story today. Yeah, James. Honestly, James, you've summed it up here. It felt like a preseason game. It really did. It felt like attack versus defense, training, just training, and some players, by the way, looking to get their match fitness back. And we'll get into it now because people, we've won the game 1-0. Team selection, I was quite surprised because you would kind of expect this team to start in the championship. And that goes with what someone said earlier in regards to James DeBio. And it was quite funny because James DeBio was featured on the cover today. I'm not sure what the article was about, but you've got to think now with Gruev back, and Gruev got on the pitch later on in the game. Junior Firpo's back, of course. You saw Gilavogi play centre back today. We'll speak about that in just a moment. But you've got to think maybe DeBio is going to be sent out on loan. Danny Farker did say in the pre-match press conference, anyone that's been used in the last few weeks won't be sent out on loan. He hasn't been used. And with the dearth of midfield talent that we've got, and him possibly seeing Gilavogi as a centre-back option now, I think DeBio is probably a prime candidate to go out on loan. Much like Joe Gelhardt, because I had both of them in my starting 11 for today. Joe Gelhardt, nowhere to be seen. So I've got to believe that there's a few low moves lined up for a couple of our fringe players, and that's got to be the only reason they didn't play today, because we literally played a fourth from bottom League Two side today. So if you're going to play DeBio, if you're going to play Joe Gelhardt, if you're going to even play Sam Chambers, then today was the day. And you saw our team. And Scott, yeah, I mean, look, that's the point. Regardless of our position, we play exactly the same always. Yeah, it's safe. I was thinking it during the game, but I've thought it at many times when we play games. It's like we wait for that. We want the opposition to stop in the box and just say, please, just wait there a second while I just line this shot up perfectly, please, before I shoot. Because there just seems to be a hesitancy to take the first time shot or just get it from under your feet and just shoot, see if it takes a deflection. It's like we got to take that 1-2, line it up right and get the shot on perfectly. When we're playing against 10 deep, that's not always going to be possible, but it is from the manager. That is his style of play. It's very rare we see crosses just coming whipped in. It's always out to the side, roll on in, cut on in, and then do it inside forward cross or shot like Ramazani was doing today. Yeah, it's just very predictable. But I'm not bothered about the predictability. But yeah, this style of football is very slow, very laborious. But we know that already, people. But look, Carl Darlow today. I'm not going to go through everybody. Maybe we can, but Carl Darlow today did what he had to do. There was one in particular, I think it was actually Gilavogi that passed it out, and the player tackled Ampadu, did handball it a little, but Carl Darlow did what he had to do today. Caught crosses, saved them on the near post, saved deflected shots. What more can you ask for? Just a simple goalkeeper game. That's all you ask for. Uh, I don't think he's going to stay in goal, people. I would keep him in. That's just me. But we've already heard from Danny Farkas saying that Elan Melier is the number one. Like I say, die on that sword, if you will. But he's going to be back in for the next league game. But I thought Cardalo looked very comfortable today when called upon. Isaac Schmidt played on the right today, and Byron was on the left, and there wasn't any switching with that. So I thought Schmidt did okay today. I think he started very tentatively, though. I think he was starting as I've seen it so many times before. When a player's got a very short rope with a manager and they don't want to make too many mistakes, so they play it as simple as possible. I thought Schmidt was doing that in the beginning, especially in the first half. Did come alive a little bit more in the second, but yeah, he did fine. Gilavogi, though, people. Oh, I love you, Joshua. I do. You're a nice guy, but man, he looked rusty today. And if we're being real, people, if we're being real, if his tackle was at the other end today with the home crowd, shouting that's a penalty, we're getting that penalty today. Absolutely getting that penalty. This is where it was the advantage of us being the big dogs in the tie. Because for me, I know the player dive forward a little bit, but every player does that upon contact. That was possibly a penalty that Gilavogi gave away today in the first half, but he got away with it. But there was a couple times today where he did not look comfortable defensively. And people, it's not just that he's a central midfielder. He's played centre back before, but he hasn't played a lot of football over the last 8 months. So when he was on the ball passing it forward, he looked fine. But when he was asked to do some defensive work, oh boy, it looked a little bit shaky. And I like to see that as well. Leeds fans in the chat saying it's a penalty. I think you guys know I'm not a Leeds homer. I don't see things through just Leeds tinted glasses. If I think that's a penalty, I'm going to say we got away with one, and we did. We definitely got one. So yeah, look, Gilavogi wasn't a great outing, but if you're looking at it today, it does look like he's going to be our backup option at centre back now, in light of Gruev returning along with Ampadu and Rothwell, Tanaka, and everyone else that we've got in central midfield. So that looks like it's going to be the plan, unless we are going to go for Omobama Deli or someone else during this window, which I got to say, as the days tick by, people, I don't know how you feel. I just don't see us doing much business. I don't. I see Sunderland bringing Enzo Lefebvre, my guy, into the building. I'm thinking, damn, that's a real good sign in Sunderland. Salute to you. So look, but the thing is, what I will say though is that this team here today does signify the strength. For me, it's just the playing style that really hampers this team. I think if you had a more free-flowing coach, I think you'd get in at least a 3 today, at least a 3. But we've beaten Harrogate 1-0. Who else really stood out? I was surprised to see Pascal start today in light of his recent injury thing, but I guess they just used this as a training game for him to get back into full shape for the championship. So again, fine. Thought Rothwell was decent conducting today, a bit wasteful with some of the set pieces, though, I gotta say. Yeah, it just wasn't good. Solomon, when you see Nanto, Solomon, Ramazani, there's no point putting him in a set formation because they all just drift all over the place across the front line. So yeah, there's no point with that. I thought Ramazani looked decent today. I thought he was a little bit wasteful in the first half with some of the opportunities he did get. But yeah, he come good in the second half. And it's quite funny as well, people. I was thinking today when I was watching some other goals in the FA Cup about crosses in and just a header in. I was like, when do we ever see those for us? And we got one today. We got one today. They must have heard me mentally or something. But yeah, Solomon, once again, though, by the way, Solomon with his left foot. Okay, another left-footed cross, another left-footed assist. It's always funny when Farkas says something, it just bites him in the bottom sometimes. But yeah, Solomon left-footed cross, Ramazani, and he breaks the deadlock, and that is literally all she wrote. What people are saying in regards to Mateo Joseph today, what I saw with Mateo, apart from the one where he decided to burst through and unfortunately hit the post, and that is true as well, James. The set pieces were shocking today, honestly. Is that he's trying too hard. I'm going to say that he's trying too hard. He's desperate to score. He's trying to get back into the form that he was in at the start of the season. And it just reminds me, if people watch ice hockey, they'll know it can be a great player that's playing ice hockey. But if they squeeze the stick too tight, the shots don't go in. They go wide, they go over, and that's kind of what's going on with Mateo right now. He just needs to relax, simplify his game because he's going to be relied on. He's going to be relied on, but we're not getting a striker. All right, we're not getting one. We're not going to keep Bamford on the books out injured. We're not going to have Peru and Joseph and yet another striker. It's not happening, people. He just needs to relax, needs to just calm down, chill, go back to how he was at the start of the season, where he was brimming with confidence. His movements was much more fluid. At the moment, he looks a little stifled, but I think it's in his head. But you're going to get that with a player who's playing his first team, his first season in such a pressure cooker. Can he handle the pressure? Some people would say no. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. Someone just to talk to him and say, dude, don't try so hard. Let the game flow. Let the game come to you and leave it be. Because at the moment, that's all it is for me. He's just trying too hard at this point in time. Mr. P in the house. Shout out to you, Mr. P. What's going on, mate? What's going on? We got through, but did we learn anything about our team tonight? Great question, Mr. P. I would like to see more pace injected at times, but that's not the far away. Yeah, I will say, yeah, Mr. P, this is a great question. I didn't learn anything from the team tonight. I don't know about you. I'm aware of what Cardolo can do as a just a run of the mill average goalkeeper. He will do that what he did today, no problem. I didn't learn anything. I thought Nanto was very quiet today. So we're talking about Joseph and a couple of others. I thought Nanto, this was a game for him to really go at it today. But in the end, he kind of got shut out, and I think that's partially reason why Daly, I think it was for Harrogate, that's why he got the man of the match, because he basically, Nanto hardly did anything today. You know what I mean? So it's another outing where a couple of French players have come in, or people that aren't starting, and they haven't made an imprint on the game to go to Farker, especially a man so set in his ways and say, consider me for the league game, Gaffer. I don't think it's happened. But yeah, Mr. P, great point in terms of that. I don't think we learned anything. But listen, maybe some of you did learn something, but let me know in the comments below. Let's have a look here. James is saying two things. Schmidt deserves more minutes, and Darlow should be the starting keeper. Yeah, but we know what's going to happen next game. Firpo's back now. He did come on for a little cameo. So Schmidt is going to be back to being fifth choice, both on the wing backs and wingers. So he's going to be back stapled to the bench and used only in emergency. You got to break the glass when there's emergency, and even then, sometimes he doesn't get used. But yeah, I thought, listen, I don't think he did anything spectacular, but yeah, he was fine today, absolutely fine. Yeah, I learned Gillen Vogel's not a central defender. It wasn't good. It wasn't good, man. Darren here saying here, Joseph is a good player. The system lets him down. He has to drop back or feed on scraps. Yeah, listen, he had a couple of opportunities today. Can't say that he didn't. But it is a system where it is just built for, players. Anyone can get goals as long as you're in the right spot at the right time, because we don't put in crosses like other teams do. We build up slow. We allow teams to get back into their shape and then try and hit an inside forward cross, which usually just gets headed away. Actually, I thought one of their players did well. So let me get his name, because I thought he did well up until we scored. Borrell. Did he play left back? I thought he played more centrally today. Their captain, I thought he did pretty well today, in all fairness. Yeah, Kelvin, I learned we have a keeper who can claim a cross. Yeah, tremendous. Peru will be back soon, people. I think it's just one of those where he sat out for this game. Who else was on the bench for us today? Who else was there? Let me just go down here. Yeah, Tanaka got on. Bogle. Yeah, Aronson got a rest today. Verba, it would have been good to see Verba playing this game today, but obviously he was only fit for the bench. So, yeah, that's it. That is it, people. There really is nothing else to say about the game today. It was an uneventful game. The most talking points is about who started the game today. Peter's saying here, Peter's usually in this kind of mode as well. Here we go again. Even a League Two coach can stop Leeds playing. Sorry, this was garbage. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, was it? John Abbott saying if we had lost, would the 49ers sack Farker? No, they wouldn't, John, not for an FA Cup loss. No, it wouldn't happen. We're top of the league for once, for one thing. And the 49ers trust Farker. We've just recently heard him in the press conference, John, and everyone else say that he has the main say about everything where it comes to selection, where it comes to transfers. He is the man, so to speak. So yeah, 49ers wouldn't sack him just for going out in the FA Cup to Harrogate Town. No, I mean it would be kind of like if Brentford sacked Thomas Frank for going out to Plymouth today. It's not going to happen, is it? It's only if you're near the bottom of the league, and then that's like the final straw. But we're going well. Could be going better, but we're going well in the league. So no, they wouldn't have sacked him for today. Matt here saying here, what an underwhelming display. Chances missed by players to make a claim for starters. Best team picks itself. Yeah, I agree with that, Matt. 100%. Michael, it is a poor league. I keep telling people this, but people don't believe me, and that's why I say when people say we're not going to finish in the top two, or even some now, of course, always have to go that extra mile, proper hyperbole, and go, we're not going to make the playoffs. But I say, well, who's better? Some will say now Sunderland have built a little better, Sheffield United, Burnley, but we are literally one of the best teams because the league is poor. It's crap. All right, it's actually rubbish, and I don't think people actually realize. Go and watch another game, people. Listen. I know it's not fun viewing. Watch another two teams play, like on the Friday night game, where it's just two middle of the road championship clubs, and go and look at the quality of that game, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Michael is saying largely look good, look sharper. Yeah, I thought he looked a little rusty on his when he was cutting inside just for a little bit in the first half. Obviously, he hasn't played a lot, but yeah, he's a good player. He's a good option to have. It's just that at this point in time, if you're talking off the left, it's Solomon's shirt, and for me, it's not even close. Mano Solomon, whenever he gets the ball now, looks dangerous to me. He looks like he's going to create something, make something happen. So at the point in time, and look, guys, it's a nice problem to have, having Solomon and Ramazani battling out for the left side shirt. It's a brilliant problem to have. And Parrot House, shout out to you, Parrot House. I think Schmidt was okay as well. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Schmidt going forward, but maybe Farke will just see it as an opportunity against a League Two team when we're desperate to get someone else in the starting lineup. But yeah, did think it was odd today. Did think it was odd. Cade here saying largely in the 10, give him a start. Cade, come on, man. You know who's coming back in for the next game straight away. He got arrested for a whole game today, Brendan. He's coming back in. He's ready for another 10-game run in the team. That shirt, people, is Brendan Aronson's. It is all this talk of a 10. I'll be real with you. I haven't seen any rumors in the last couple of days where I think that this is plausible. I don't know what kind of business is being done, if there is any. But if you're thinking that we're going to get a 10 that's going to supersede Brendan Aronson, I would say it's highly unlikely. And he hasn't done anything to be dropped, in all fairness. But I'm just saying, if you talk about competition, no, it's Brendan Aronson's shirt, and I think that's pretty clear from today as well. J-Tex just asking this question, great question as well. Has the golfing quality between the Premier League and Championship ever been larger? No, it hasn't, J-Tex. This is something I've been saying over the last couple of years, and it's only getting worse as the years tick on, because the money that was being spent in the Championship can't be spent like it used to. So, when you used to see in the Championship a few years ago, think before COVID, people, you used to see teams getting that striker that's not quite good enough for the Premier League, but will probably do well in the Championship for like 8 million. You're not seeing that anymore. It rarely happens now. It's all now players that drop out or players that are coming up from other leagues. And it is weakened and watered down the quality of this league so much. It used to be a real good league. It used to have players where you go, this guy could play in the Premier League. But if you're talking now, this season especially, if you take out our team, if you take out Sheffield United, especially with Gus Harmer, who is definitely a Prem player, Burnley have probably got a couple. Sunderland have probably got a couple. But if you're looking around the league and going who could step up to the Prem, it's slim pickings, if anyone. But I've got a very high bar, but some of you will probably think some other players could play in the Prem. It's not like it used to be. The league is getting even worse. That's why we need to get out this season. Because if we allow the teams to come down and we're in this division, we're not going up. because we're going to have to sell some of our better players, while Ipswich, who may have to sell a couple, will have a championship ready-made squad along with like Southampton or someone. So it's very important that we get out of this league. And I think that's very clear, right? Very, very clear. Scott here saying criminal that Farker prefers Byram over Schmidt. I don't get it. Well, Scott, I mean, again, this is, you know, Daniel Farker. We've known him for a while. He's known Byram from his Norwich days. He trusts him defensively, which I do get as well, because Sam Byram defensively is probably one of our better fullbacks in that area. So yeah, I completely get why he does it. Does Byram deserve all the starts over Schmidt? That's not for me to say at this point, because I think Byram's done pretty well when he's come in. But yeah, he doesn't use Schmidt anywhere near what he probably should have. And I think even the commentator said about how many minutes Schmidt had played before today. It wasn't even, it was nowhere near full game, people. So yeah, Farker and Friends FC. No, listen, one thing I won't do with Farker is I do get when managers have trusted generals who they, you know, who they trust and rely on. I do get it to a certain point, but yeah, some of them I don't understand. Okay, that's what I mean. But listen, people, there really is nothing else to say. Yeah, 27 minutes. That's what it was, Kelvin. Correct. That is it. That is it. There is, sorry, people, there is nothing more to say about this game. If you've got any further thoughts about the game, put them in the comments below. Like the video before you go, people. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Leeds United are through to the next round. Woohoo! Peace out.